Okay, so listen to this story. I'm driving and I didn't have time this week. Anyway, listen to the Tomorrow Never Knows from the Beatles. And there's this drum beat that's like boop boop da boop da 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 boop boop da, and it's like it reminds me of Radiohead, which Radiohead was inspired by the Beatles, or certainly their drummer was. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, that drums, it's chaotic. It's got a heavy ride cymbal, but that drums is not present on the Phil Collins version. However, listen to the CR78. The song starts with that drum machine, the same drum machine on Duchess and on In the Air Tonight, and listen to it and you can hear the hi-hat does the da-da-da. It's really cool. It's like the CR78 drum machine pattern is a homage to Ringo's drum pattern, and then we have Phil's own more tom heavy, lots of crashing cymbals, more ambient. Phil's version of Tomorrow Never Knows is more ambient sounding, where I think the Beatles version is more it's more rock. It's more heavy rock or alternative rock. It's very interesting. Tomorrow Never Knows is a really interesting window into what alternative rock would sound like in the 90s. I think it's kind of a 90s rock song, really. Okay, before we talk about this song, because this is one of my least favorite Phil Collins songs, even though it's not a Phil Collins song, but let's talk about the song. Let's talk about covers, okay, for a second here, because let's talk about all the Phil Collins covers. So we have Tomorrow Never Knows, which is pretty on the nose. I think it's pretty close to the original, despite some of the differences that I just mentioned. Then you have a cover, You Can't Hurry Love, which is probably his most famous cover. And that song is almost identical to the original. It's very Motown-y feel, similar to Going Back, which was intentionally meant to sound exactly like they did it in the old days, even using the same band. And then we have the Bob Dylan cover from Dance Into the Light, The Times They Are Changing, which is way different and a much more Phil Collins version. I quite like that song. I like Bob's version and I like Phil's version. Phil's version's like the Tarzan version. We have True Colors, which, to be honest, I think it's pretty similar. But Phil, I think, made that song maybe a little bit more popular. Groovy Kind of Love is another cover. And again, I'm not too familiar with the original. Can't Stop Loving You is way different. In my opinion, Can't Stop Loving You is more upbeat, more exciting of a song. I think his version's better. Tomorrow Never Knows, again, of all those covers I just listed, I think Tomorrow Never Knows is my least favorite. The reason being is that two things. One, it speaks to a problem with Face Value I have, and that is that Face Value is like a mixtape of sorts. It is like a smorgasbord of all of the influences from Phil's career. You have Brian Eno, the ambient stuff of Droned. You have the Motown stuff of Behind the Lines and I Missed Again. You have country and Eric Clapton stuff. You have the more cinematic show tunesy style ballads that would be more Tin Pan Alley stuff. And then you have the Beatles. And that's like one of my issues with Face Value, is that it's all over the place. Now, all of those songs are all great. It's fine. It makes for a great album. But I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if he was a little bit more cohesive in his sound, would I like that album even more? Would it be even more iconic? Probably not. That's just me. Tomorrow Never Knows is the one song that really just kind of stands out, is a little bit obnoxious, especially at a dinner party when, like, if Leaving Me Is Easy is so beautiful, like, I know, you know what I mean, it's so beautiful. Like, everything's so relaxing and chill. The album's actually quite a chill album, aside from maybe Behind the Lines. Even I'm Not Moving is like, that's all. It's just a little groove. But Tomorrow Never Knows is like super obnoxious. Like, it's because of the reverse sounds, right? Now, I'm not a Beatles fan in any stretch of the imagination, so I don't really know what was going on. I do know that they and George Harrison have pioneered a lot of the kind of goofy stuff that people would do with tape machines in the recording studio. I believe and the Beatles version and Phil's version, there's like a seagull sound, birds, which I believe are not actual birds. They're reverse, like they're voices that are played in tape machine in reverse. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's true. So did Phil do the same thing? Because he has a lot of those sounds as well. Not as many as the Beatles version. but he has a lot of those sounds, and they get loud in the mix, and they're cool. It's cool that he replicated it, but it ends up being just a little bit obnoxious if you're having a dinner party and you had this nice album on, and then things get really loud with these kind of squeaky birds. I guess really to me the verdict is this: do we like the Phil when he does a cover tune, and he does it himself? He makes it his own, like "Can't Stop Loving You" and like "The Times They Are Changing," or do we like it when he stays on the nose, like "You Can't Hurry Love" or "Tomorrow Never Knows"? In the comments below, you let me know what your preference is. Do you like the going back where Phil just replicates it identically? I think in some of his live stuff, like "The Way You Look Tonight" and "My Girl," it is kind of like Motown, or sorry, not Motown-y, but you know, a little bit Sinatra-y, as homage to what he grew up with. Now, I like the Motown stuff that is, "I Cannot Believe It's True," or "It Don't Matter to Me," or "I Missed Again." I love that stuff. But the actual covers, I want to know in the comments from you. Do you like "Can't Stop Loving You" and "Times They Are Changing," where he takes the song and makes it his own? Or do you prefer when he's more on the nose and he sticks to the format of the original tune with "You Can't Hurry Love" and "Tomorrow Never Knows"? Let me know in the comments what you think of this song. I do not like it. But again, I'm not a Beatles fan. I'm a Phil Collins fan. I've said that millions of times. So to me, that's probably my issue with it. If it was a cover of an artist that I really liked, maybe that I would like it better. And obviously Phil loves the Beatles. He has an incredibly rich history with the Beatles. And so for him to make this solo album that could have only been his only solo album potentially, it's totally fine if he wants to pay tribute to this band. Let me know in the comments what you think.